Well, England has managed to take away all the advantage created by Pakistan yesterday. Jack Leach amongst the wickets, taking 4 wickets, and then it's been an impressive show with the bat. Ben Duckett amongst the runs once again. The only star performer from Pakistan, Abrar Ahmed with 10 wickets, and Harry Brook is still not out. Could be the contender for man of the series come towards the end. Right, England were bowled out for 281. In response, Pakistan made 202. They were bowled out. Jack Leach taking 4 wickets. Joe Root also chipping in with 2. And at this point of time, England are leading by 281 runs with Ben Duckett as the top scorer. Welcome to the Solar Energy, Inverex Solar Energy Pitch Side Show. Well, England will be rather pleased with the way they've made a comeback in this game. In fact, they are in a dominating position, courtesy that bowling effort. Pakistan, they'll be looking back and thinking that they've lost all the momentum that they created yesterday. I've been joined by Bazid Khan and David Gower. Bazid, from a Pakistan perspective, yesterday the situation was very much in their favor. They were looking to sort of build on and create some kind of a lead. That, of course, didn't go to plan. What would you attribute it to? Was it a case of just some soft dismissals, shot selection? Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, they would have gone into the day thinking that we can get a bit of a lead. We can also get a huge lead if we bat really well. I think the turning point probably be that Babar dismissal. But overall, if you look at that bowling, that England, especially today, they made sure that they applied the pressure and kept that pressure on throughout. There was a situation where after Babar had dismissed, they'd gone for 6 runs in 6 overs. So the consistency and the pressure applied by England then reaped results. Yes, you could argue Pakistan weren't as proactive as you would like, but also give credit to the way that England bowled and found ways of actually not letting Pakistan score at all.
I mean, one thing that's obviously worked for England in the last, couple of years is Ollie Robinson. We spoke about how he didn't get to bowl yesterday, but today he got the ball to reverse, and that ball to Babar Azam was a peach.
It was, and it sort of proves that the tactic of keeping someone in reserve has validity. It was a great ball, was a lovely ball. In fact, England saved the 2 best balls of the day for the 2 best batsmen. So this one from Robinson was full, reversed in, just had enough to get through the gap between bat and pad, because it goes late. And that's the great thing about reverse swing. Just look how late it goes. And then when you play through the line like that, you just leave that little bit of a gap. So a great delivery from Ollie Robinson. Didn't take much, just a few overs from him. That was his work done for the day. What England have done well, actually, is just manipulate their resources, because the other end, Leach knew he was going to bowl a lot of overs. He saved his best ball for Rizwan, which is an absolute cracker. And then the rest played shots that they'd probably rethink if they were honest about life.
Yeah, they would perhaps be re-evaluating in terms of what kind of shots that they were playing. But talking about Pakistan, they have got 5 wickets. Of course, the lead is such that they will need more wickets come tomorrow. But let's revisit some of them today.
Fall of wickets, brought to you by Inverex Solar Energy.
Yeah, this was never a run on, and he's just run away, and it was looped it up as underarm loop into the stumps and still got run out from a long way. So that was the worst call that Crowley's made for quite a while. He actually had to avoid the bowler as well, and this big Mo leg side. The slog sweep didn't work. Pace of Abrar, I think he picked the googly, but the pace of Abrar was slow enough to defeat the shot. This was a magnificent catch at short leg. To be able to pull that off, this is as good as it gets. Going one way and then having to react and dive the other way and pick it up inches from the ground. Abdullah Shafiq with a magnificent catch. Then the slowness of the track. His ball is slow. That Duckett is through the shot as the ball arrives. He's already played the shot and missed it and hits the stump. But it's the slowness of Abrar and the slowness of the pitch. And then this again, he's hit it and run and it's gone straight to the fielder, a left-handed fielder, which I don't think Ollie Pope had taken into account. But again, a poor call and a wicket gifted to Pakistan. He'd be very disappointed with the way that he got run out that time around.
Fall of wickets, brought to you by Inverex Solar Energy.
Well, England has obviously got quite a bit of lead. I mean, what kind of total do you think they'll be comfortable with?
Well, it's comfortable and what they'd really like, which is a lot more. I mean, comfortable, you start to get comfortable at 300. You get even more comfortable at 350. I mean, what are we now? 281. So 350 is well within their compass. Time, there's plenty of time left. So they can go, if things go well, if the partnerships continue to develop, then they can look further. But I think 350 is probably a target at the moment.
Well, one thing is for sure, that they're not short of time. They've got plenty of time on their hands in this test match, and there is plenty to look forward to on the Inverex Solar Energy pitchside show as well. We'll be back just in a bit. Well, just a quick reminder of how England are dominating the proceedings of today. Harry Brook is still not out on 74, and he is still with Ben Stokes on 16 not out. They are 202 for 5. Back at the Inverex Solar Energy pitchside show, we're talking about how England has been dominating the proceedings today. Harry Brook has been one of the star performers of this entire series. I've got Baz and David Gower here with me. David, I mean, Harry Brook, we've seen him a lot in the white ball format, but for him to sort of translate that success into Test cricket, he's got now over 300 runs in this series, and he seems to be loving batting against Pakistan.
He does. He does. He loves batting in Pakistan. We've seen that from PSL and things like that. He's a quick learner by the look of it, because I was disappointed with his shot in the first innings. I thought it was over-ambitious. In the second innings, a couple of nervy moments where he was having a look at Abrar again, but the shots are all there. And he's so quick. When he's got quick hands, quick feet, he's a big man, but he moves deceptively quickly. And when he gets going, he's very, very hard to stop. Now, we've seen him in the UK, for instance, playing for his county Yorkshire, in all formats. He loves batting, and he is learning very quickly. He will be a star for a long time. And those runs, 323 runs, ignore the current average, just because it's still ongoing. That's one of the little foibles I'm not that happy with. But he's had a great series on pitches that he likes. And the rule for every batsman is, when you're in form, in conditions you like, try and make as many as you can.
Well, another guy who's also been doing well in the series for England is Ben Duckett. We've seen a bit of him in the PSL, and again, a player who's rather known for his success in the white ball format, but he seems to be sweeping all the spinners and bowlers away here in Pakistan. He seems to be loving playing against them and dominating by using the sweep shot.
Yeah, one of those England batters who would not mind low bounce. He keeps low. He's not particularly tall, so all this opportunity to hit through the offside and the pull shot, which he's very strong at. Also the fact that he plays spin so very well. You talked about the sweep and reverse sweep. Today he was more circumspect and he was picking Abrar, I thought, the best out of everyone. I didn't at any stage looked as if he hadn't picked Abrar. So the average, again, brilliant. Maybe that's also ongoing. It's just 2 games into his career. But I think this test series, I think England have specifically picked him, and he's played in front of Jennings as the opener because of the fact that he's playing spin so well, and also that he excels where there's low bounce.
Has he sort of always been a good player of spin from his playing days, early playing days, David?
Well, he played at Northampton for a while. That was his early club, first club, where the ball does turn. It's also quite low there. So he's had a bit of practice on that from early days. But I think the big difference is that in the last, 2 or 3 years, his game has developed, his confidence has come on. He's much more assured about his play. When he first played Test cricket, and there's a 6-year gap there, he probably wasn't quite ready for it, which can happen. Now that he's playing under these conditions, which he genuinely likes, then this is the time for him to make hay. But he's a much better all-round player than he was, and that's just the accumulation of experience over the last few years.
Well, talking about experience, there's one guy who doesn't have a lot of experience but will be gaining a lot of experience, but just by taking so many wickets. I mean, we spoke about how he could create some records. He's already got 10 wickets in the match. Abrar Ahmed is our top performer of the day.
Top performer, brought to you by Inverix Solar Energy.
Well, I love watching people like this. I love watching the mystery. I'd say about that Will Jack shot that whatever he did in terms of picking it, he didn't execute the shot well. The catch from Shafiq was brilliant. And just when there was talk of maybe that, those spinning fingers getting a bit tired, the wicket comes. I have to say that the lack of pace, both out of the hand and off the pitch there for Ben Duckett, was his undoing. And it certainly wasn't planned. But that's the luck you sometimes make as a bowler. But he's obviously loving his first Test match. And I mean, it's a reasonable say to say that he'll be around for some years, bamboozling some. People will learn. This is the thing. People will learn more about him very, very quickly. Again, time to make hay.
Well, that was the top performer of the day. I've got a question for Bazid Khan, but that too just in a bit.
Top performer, brought to you by Inverix Solar Energy.
All right, because we're talking about questions and because I love teasing my experts and asking them all the questions, putting them on the spot, it's time to have your say.
Have your say, brought to you by Inverix Solar Energy.
I mean, we're talking about Abrar Ahmed and his success, and one of the points that you made, Bazid, was that you feel that for him to succeed in the longer run, he needs to be bowling quicker. Just your thoughts on that, and I wanted you to sort of elaborate that point.
Yeah, look, as David pointed out, people will figure him out. They will look at footage. They will get used to the way that he bowls. And for him to be more effective, especially in international cricket, he will then have to develop all his skills slightly quicker. It's a very difficult art to do because he's different from all other spinners. He's sort of a finger spinner as such, and to get more pace on it is an art. But I think if he has to progress, the one thing that you look at that maybe he bowls slightly slower, and that helps the batters to pick him, and they look at that, and once he gets a bit quicker, I think it'll be more difficult to pick, and also speed off the surface will make it even more difficult if you've not picked it out of the hand. If they speed off the surface, you'll have no time at all.
I mean, one of the things that we saw in David with someone like Ajanta Mendes is that he got found out later on in his career, and we've seen that happen with a lot of spinners where, players sort of mystery spinners, that they start getting picked because of all the data and analysis and just by playing them. How do you think Abrar keeps his mystery? I mean, is it a case of developing more variations? I don't know. I mean, how do you think he'll keep his mystery?
To be fair, there are only so many variations you can develop. Shane Warne, bless him, the great man that was Shane Warne, just developed new names for them. And that was quite a good trick, because he'd come up every couple of years and say, I've got a Zuda, I've got a whatever it might be, a new name for something which wasn't far off different to something he'd bowled before. He did have variety, but the great thing about someone like, say, Warne, who was the best, let's face it, is that he had not just the ability to turn the ball a long, long way in both directions, top spinners, zooters, flippers, you name it. But he had the confidence and the nous to work people out. So, I mean, one of the great things I learned about him is the way that he would have a plan that was like a chess player. Not just 2 balls down the road, but 2 overs down the road, 3 overs down the road. And Abrar would probably have to learn that. I mean, pace is an interesting thing. Pace, spinners have to change pace, have to read a pitch to decide what the best pace is for that pitch, and there'll be days where bowling slower gets you more rewards, days where you can fizz it through as best you can. If you need to learn how to do that, fine, learn how to do it. But what we've got at the moment is a very, very good bowler. We've got a man with enough varieties. I mean, he claims to have 2 googlies, so we'll have to keep looking for that, see if we can tell the difference. But that sort of bamboozlement in the mind is as important as what comes out of the hand.
Yeah, we've seen that, he's got all the variations and changes of pace as well. and I'm sure there's a lot that is in store for him in the future. Yeah, that was Have Your Say for you.
Have Your Say, brought to you by Inverix Solar Energy.
Okay, Bazit, does Pakistan still have a chance of winning this test match? And if so, how?
Yeah, look, they've got so much time in the test match. The only chance that Pakistan have is they come out tomorrow and break this partnership very quickly. If it goes over 350, it goes towards that 400 mark, then I think the belief in themselves will also sort of just drop a little. But there's still chance here is that if you get one of these two out early tomorrow and then have a flurry of wickets and make sure that you bowl them out quickly, anything sort of below 350 with the time in the game and the way the pitch has played slightly slower today, they'll still think they're in with a chance. They'll have to do really, really well. But I think once it goes 350 and above, then it becomes quite an issue.
What about the pitch then? Do you think that's going to change at all, David? Do you think it's going to stay the same?
Slowly. I think it's changing, it's evolving. It's not dramatically changing, it's just evolving at its own little pace. And we haven't, to be fair, we haven't seen a lot of balls turning big today. There's always some that will do. And it is the spinners that we expect to do damage tomorrow and if necessary the day after. But what England have in their favour is, going back to what we talked about at the start of the show, the Robinson delivery. All he has to do is bowl one magic delivery, get up one of the best players, and that's a step forward. So, I mean, what they do is they use all their resources, and they don't just have to rely on Abra or, Jack Leach or whoever it might be.
Right, that you heard it from the experts as well. Of course, England are in a dominating position, but Pakistan will be looking to break that partnership. That's going to be key tomorrow as we join you once again at 9:15 a.m., which will be live from Multan Cricket Stadium. Cricket action starts at 9:45. That's when you'll see the first ball being bowled. It's been a riveting contest so far. England have definitely dominated today. Pakistan will be looking back and looking to get that early wicket tomorrow. That's going to be crucial. Hence why we're all looking forward to tomorrow. That's all that we have for you guys from here. We'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome to the second day of the second test match live from Multan. This is really good batting, and that is a really nice way to bring up another 50 for Shakil. Got it! Over mid-on, does it land safely? Anderson takes the catch.
It's cleaned him up. Completely squared Rizwan. England have their fifth.
Hurry here, Zach Crawley's gone. Oh, he's bowling. It has been taken. Exactly where the left-hander wants it. And that is now 50 for Ben Duckett. Trouble here for Pope, and gone, surely. And that takes Harry Brook through to a very good 50.